What's up, guys? I'm Drew, and you're watching Upstate 208. Hey guys, Drew Hindley here, Upstate 208, and today we are doing something a little bit different. So I've got my pickup pulled into the garage here, and I am getting ready to replace the power steering pump on it. So what I've got here is a 2012 Toyota Tundra. This particular one has the 4.6 liter V8 in it. So the reason I'm making this video is, like every good YouTube mechanic, I went to search and try and do a little bit of research on exactly the best way to do this, and could not find anything online that was very helpful. So I wanted to go ahead and do a video, kind of bring you guys along, show you what I'm doing here. So, okay, so first thing is accessing the power steering pump. So I will show you inside here, and get a little bit of light in here. So power steering pump is down in here. You can barely see the pulley right down in there, and it is tight. If you look at what we're dealing with here, super difficult to get down in there. So first step you want to do, I'm pretty sure that some of the radiator, the fan, and all that stuff to get the serpentine belt off is probably gonna have to come out, but I did find out this online, which if you look in here, I've got the front passenger side wheel off, and if you look right up in here, there's a little flap here, and it's got some push pins on it that you can pop out, and that will get you right into the power steering pump behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, take a look at what we're working with. Okay, flap off. There's a little bracket that goes up in top there that will come with it when it comes off. So now we can see what we're going for. Okay, so we are taking this guy off. This is the pulley on it, so we got to get in there and pull that off. So there's a couple of bolts up here right behind this pulley, so I'm actually going to go through this pulley right here on the front. There's holes in it that'll see my glove in there. So you can actually go through there and get the mounting brackets off of it. We've got a little electrical plug right here that's going to pull off. So we'll want to take that off. And then we've also got our pressure lines in here. Okay, so just a tip here, guys. I've got the new pump out, and this is kind of my reference for where my mounting bolts are and what I'm looking for, being as I can't see in there what's going on very well. You pump out to take a look at it, and I can see that the way this pulley has the holes in it, that you can see your mounting brackets in there. So it looks like we've got 3 different mounting bolts through these holes here that are going to need to come out, on top of our pressure lines, our electrical sensors, all that stuff. So I'm kind of using this as a guide as to what I've got to take off. So kind of a helpful little tip. Okay, so first thing off is this little electrical connection. Now I'm going to work on, there's another one right here. So I'm going to pull this guy off of there that way. Okay, I have a little suction thing that I'm pulling all of the oil out of the reservoir. Oh, okay, and there's oil coming out. So, okay, dripping. Just a little drip there. Okay. So that does make this whole situation much easier to... I felt it. Okay, there is a tab on the back side of that. See that? So you gotta push up on your thumb to unlock it. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So on the back side of that thing, you gotta push on that, and I could not see that. Okay, so we got this out of the way for now. Okay, so we've got to remove the fan and this cover that goes over the fan. So there is a 10mm bolt right here and one on the other side also. So turn off. Looks like that whole assembly is pretty ready to come off after just those 2 bolts. So what do we got here? I popped this hose off, so I'm going to have to pull this main hose here. Okay, so there is no getting around it that I can tell. So you've got to take off the front plastic housing around your fan, and in order to get that piece out, you got to get the fan off. So it's kind of tricky. There's 4 bolts that hold the fan onto the pulley. I'm using a pair of channel locks to hold it while I spin the nuts off, and it seems to be working. So you got to make sure you take this top cover plate off of your engine, and it gives you a little bit more wiggle room to get in there. And so I'm working on that now, and it's pretty tight in here, but I can tell once I get this off, it's going to free up a bunch of space. Fan out, fans off. All right, fan and housing off. Now I can actually move around in there, see what's going on. Okay guys, so I got that fan and the housing off, and as you can see, it makes a drastic improvement to the space that you have to work down in here. So now that power steering pump is right down in here, and it's easy to get my hand down in here, get to the bolts, take it out. So definitely got to take this thing off. Alright guys, well, my dad just stopped by, so I told him I'd give him a shout out because I was struggling with how to get the belt tensioner off. And so the belt tensioner sits right to the right hand side of the power steering pump there, and you can put a 14mm socket on it. It's reverse threads, so you can pull up on that belt tensioner. It loosens it up. You can slide the serpentine belt off, and once you do that, it makes your world a whole lot easier to get in and get these 3 bolts off of the power steering pump. So I've got 2 of the 3 out. I suppose you could just go to your... Oh. And on the last bolt, of course, I dropped it. Oh, I see. It's got to get pulled out towards me. Okay, so... Okay, so I can slide it up, and that is giving me a good opportunity to grab this line right here and get this clamp off of it. Okay, get it off. Oh yeah. Yep, there comes the mess. But I believe this pump is about out of there. but she's being stubborn. There it is. Now the question that we've all been waiting for is, will it actually fit through this friggin' hole? Not very easily, but apparently it does fit. Alright. It's off. Okay, so I just got this power steering pump off, and one thing I noticed while it was still mounted is that there's just a tiny little wobble in the pulley out here. So the symptoms that I had were it was whining, it was screeching, the pulley was when it would first start up. So yeah, it's just a rough pulley, out of balance. Yeah, that one, the new one, feels much better. So oh, found my bolt. Sweet. Forgot about it for a second. Suppose you could just go to your, oh, and on the last bolt, of course, I dropped it. That was lucky. So got it. So what I was doing is getting that clamp back on the bottom feed. Kind of a hard thing to get to, but we got it on there. I got the pump in, got mounted, got all my connections made back up. I'm dropping back in the fan and the housing here. This little shroud over the fan has just two little clips that it mates into on the bottom, so you got to make sure that you slide it into those clips and that it's mounted in there good to hold it on the bottom. And then you just got two screws up here on top. So I've got that in there. You got to slide the housing and the fan all together kind of in there. So now I am back to working on this fan. Okay guys, I got everything put back together, and I'm just getting ready to put fluid in this thing. I went through, checked everything a couple times, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did not have any extra nuts or bolts in my little bolt tray, so that's always it's always a good sign that things are headed the right way. So we're ready for some fluid.